You adore your cat, right? Of course you do. But what if I told you that most of the ways we humans think we're showing affection get completely lost in translation? Okay, we're going to get into this because today we're breaking down 7 small daily habits that will let you finally speak your cat's language. Wow. I mean, that's a pretty bold statement from our source material, isn't it? It suggests that all our best intentions, all those cuddles and coos, might just be noise. Or worse, maybe we're even pushing them away. It's a huge claim, and it leads to one really important question. Exactly. What actually works? If our human instincts are steering us wrong, what are the right moves? Well, that is precisely what we are going to unpack. First, we'll look at the core of the miscommunication problem. Then we'll jump into 3 key areas: how to talk and, well, look at your cat, how to bond through both play and just being present, and finally, the right way to touch them. Then we'll wrap it all up with the big takeaway.
So really, it all boils down to this. There's a massive gap between what we think we're saying with a hug or a long, loving stare and what our cat is actually hearing. So let's start closing that gap. First things first, we're going to focus on communication that doesn't even involve touching. These are the signals that tap directly into a cat's hardwired instincts, starting with something you use every single day: the sound of your voice.
You know that voice, that high-pitched, super soft, kind of embarrassing tone you use when you think nobody's listening, the one you might feel a little silly about. Well, guess what? You should be doing it even more. And this isn't just a hunch. It's actually backed by science. A 2022 study from the University of Paris looked into this exact thing. Researchers wanted to know, does that specific, cutesy tone of voice really make a difference to cats? And the results were fascinating. When owners used their regular adult voice, their cats pretty much ignored them. But the second they switched to that high-pitched, affectionate baby talk, everything changed. The cats perked up, turned their heads, and even started moving closer. That specific tone literally signals to them, I'm friendly, you're safe with me. Okay, so we've covered your voice, now let's move on to your eyes. What you're looking at here isn't just a sleepy cat. This is one of the most powerful and intentional messages in the entire feline world. It's basically the cat version of saying, I love you. And here's why this is so critical. For us humans, making direct, sustained eye contact is a sign of trust, of love. But in the animal kingdom, and especially for cats, an unblinking stare is a challenge. It's confrontational. So every time we stare lovingly into our cat's eyes without blinking, we might actually be sending a message of aggression. So here's how you do it the right way. And this has been confirmed by research from the University of Sussex. Next time your cat looks at you from across the room, just meet their gaze. Then, very slowly and deliberately, close your eyes for just a second before opening them again. If they blink back, that's your cat saying, I see you and I trust you completely. It's beautiful. All right, let's switch gears from sight and sound to action and inaction. This next part is all about how both active engagement and, believe it or not, doing absolutely nothing at all can build an incredible bond with your cat. Have you ever dangled a toy right in front of your cat's face, only for them to give you a look of complete and utter boredom? Yeah, that's not your cat being lazy. It's because the hunt you're offering just isn't convincing enough. See, it all comes down to this: the prey sequence. Cats are wired to stalk, chase, pounce, and finally, catch. If you're just waving a feather wand around, you're skipping the best parts. You need to make that toy act like real prey, have it hide behind the couch, make it dart away. Fulfilling that instinct, that is love in a language your cat was literally born to speak. Now for the complete opposite approach. What if I told you one of the most powerful, loving things you could do for your cat was to do absolutely nothing? I know, it sounds weird. We feel this pressure to always be petting or playing to show we care. But for cats, that's often not the case. Here's why. Unlike dogs who often crave constant physical attention, cats show deep trust by simply sharing space with you. Just being near you with no pressure to interact is a huge compliment. So when your cat finally chooses to hop up on the couch and sit next to you, it's not because you called them over. It's because they chose you. And in the world of cats, that choice is everything. Okay, time to move into our final set of habits, which is all about physical contact. And this is so important because it's not just about how you pet your cat, it's about earning the right to pet them in the first place. Think about it. How do you normally greet your cat?
If you're like most people, you probably just reach down and start petting. But in cat etiquette, that's like a stranger walking up and immediately giving you a bear hug. You're skipping the most important step, because cats navigate their world through scent.
Here is the 2-second habit that changes the entire dynamic. Before you go in for a pet, just hold out a single finger about at their nose level. Let them come to you and have a sniff. If they then rub their cheek against your finger, boom, that's the green light. You've just asked for permission and they've given it. It's a total game changer. Oh man, we have all been here. Your cat is curled up in a perfect little ball, looking so cute and peaceful, and the urge to just scoop them up for a cuddle is almost overwhelming. You have to fight that urge.
Because what feels like a loving cuddle to us feels like a sudden abduction from a safe place to them. Deep sleep is when a cat is at its most vulnerable. Ripping them out of it spikes their heart rate and totally erodes their sense of security. If you keep doing it, they'll just start finding more hidden, out-of-the-way places to sleep. Not to be rude, but just to feel safe.
And finally, the last habit. The one spot on your cat's body that can unlock a deeper bond than almost any other. It's not the chin, it's not the belly, it's that little area right between their ears going down the back of their head. And there's a fascinating biological reason for this. It's called allogrooming. You see, bonded cats groom each other right on that one spot that they can't reach themselves. This act releases oxytocin, the love hormone, in both of their brains. So by gently stroking that exact spot, you are mimicking one of their most intimate, familial behaviors and tapping directly into that same chemical bond. So what does this all boil down to? The big takeaway is this. Real affection isn't just about the love we feel inside. It's about taking that feeling and translating it into a language our cats can actually understand. A language of soft voices, slow blinks, polite greetings, and satisfying hunts. It's a shift from just loving your cat to truly understanding your cat. And that really leaves us with one final thought. Once you actually start speaking their language, you're going to be absolutely amazed at how much they have to say back to you.